This sucks. Today is another unedited rant, or at least like semi-edited. I don't know what this is gonna be, but I just wanted to talk about new jeans and see how my voice like did a little wobble there. Like, guys, like, I'm not okay. Like, spiritually, I'm not okay. um I ooh 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 I have been a fan of new jeans since attention dropped. I remember, wow, it's been 4 years. I remember, I think it was a day after attention dropped, and I knew of new jeans, but I didn't, like, I obviously hadn't heard any of the music or seen any teasers because there were none. um when attention dropped, it was such an interesting song to me. I remember listening to it and just getting chills. Like, the first time that I ever heard it, I was like, this, I haven't heard something like this in K-pop. Like, they're going to be different. There's just something about them. I don't know if it's just like the spark in their eyes, or like, I don't know what it was, but they just had that sauce that you just cannot replicate. I'm going to preface this before I like sit down and, whoa, that car was going a little crazy. I'm going to preface this though before I, like, properly mourn the giant that was like new jeans, um I'm a fan of a lot of other hype groups. I stan Lesserafim, I stan Illit. Or, well, I wouldn't say I stan them, actually. I only really stan like TXT, and those are my ults. But I really, really enjoy Lesserafim, Illit. NewJeans was the one other like hype group that I stand. So it's just kind of like, wow. Um and obviously I really enjoy BTS, Cordis, Boy Next Door. Like, I'm not like coming from a place of like, I only think like new jeans are good and I hate like all the other hype groups. If anything, I feel like I'm more of a, and I say I'm a hype stan like jokingly, but like, I do enjoy a lot of the groups that hype puts out. And so it's just kind of like, I'm not like coming at this from like a malicious place. I'm just reminiscing. I remember Attention coming out and just being completely starstruck. And then Hype Boy came out, and I think I replayed that song like, I don't even want to think about like how many times I replayed that song, actually. But just know that the entire like New Jeans like debut EP was in my 2022 K-pop playlist. It also, I guess we're gonna get a little personal. Just so you can understand the context of like what this group meant to me. In the summer of 2022, like when New Jeans debuted, I was going through like genuinely probably the worst time of my life, like mentally. I'm not going to get into details, but my living situation drastically changed. My relationships with my family and friends drastically changed. And the way that life looked for me just got flipped over on its head completely. And while I am grateful for that time now, it was still extremely difficult for me. It has shaped me into the human that I am today. And, I hope I don't have to experience anything like that again. And right in the middle of that really difficult time came New Jeans with their music, with their very like fresh sound and everything. I had like a thing on my phone, like a screen time limit on my phone, so I couldn't like watch any like YouTube or anything for like an extended period of time. And so I literally screen recorded newjeans' songs, and I had them downloaded to my photos just so that way I could like replay the music over and over again even after my screen time limit was over, just so I could like keep listening to it and dancing. And just like I don't do that for a lot of groups. I did that for TXT, and I did that for Stray Kids, and like I think one other group. And like I don't know how to describe it, but it was just so like they were just so special to me. They just like represented, I think, youth, and like the youth that I wanted to experience so badly. And it kind of they like kind of represented freedom in a way, like freedom from the restrictions that I faced. And I just really found them to be like lightning in a bottle. Like they were so incredibly special to me. And obviously, I got through that difficult time. I'm better now, and that time is in the past. But as New Jeans kept releasing music, like, you know, Ditto, OMG, eventually in the beginning of 2023, I just found that their music spoke to me in such an emotional way. My best friend at the time, she did not listen to K-pop or anything like at all. Like we were very different in the sense that like, you know, like our fandoms were completely different. Um but I remember showing her ditter girl. I remember showing her Ditto, and that was like the one New Jeans song that like she absolutely loved. And it was just so special to be able to share something of mine with her. Guys, I'm like, this is really difficult. um Danielle was my bias immediately. I remember seeing her smile and just her outlook on life and her cheery like persona or personality or whatever it was. I don't know what it was. Again, it was just that sauce. She just had something about her that I was just like, she's special. I like her. I really like her. And she just instantly became my bias. And I yeah, it was just something different, you know. I remember loving the album designs for OMG and for Attention. Like both of those EPs had such cool physical albums. And like the whole like OT5 like photo card thing was so cool. Like it was something that not a lot of K-pop groups did. I know that Twice has like full group photo card sets, but like it's few and far between, right? OMG was my most listened to song of 2023, and honestly probably my most listened to song on Spotify, if the Chase hasn't beaten it by now. But it's just something about that song that's just pop perfection. Like you genuinely cannot like make that shit up. Like it's I can't put it into words how good of a song it is. Like, and just how like refreshing it was for the K-pop industry. And yeah, and then when they blew up even more with Super Shy and New Jeans, and they like collaborate with the Powerpuff Girls, like I was just like, this group is just like, they're hitting it on the mark every single time. Like they just know exactly what their audience is, and they know how to like market themselves perfectly. Like it was genuinely like it was just so cool to see them like flesh themselves out even more and be like just this really cool fully realized group, you know. And then when we got Bubblegum and How Sweet, I was like, okay, it feels like the budget's being pulled back a little bit, but that's understandable. They just performed at Lala. They had obviously all this legal stuff going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about. And obviously the rollout for Super Shy was very expensive. But I remember just like not really vibing with how sweet. Like I was just like, it's cool, but it's not necessarily my like cup of tea, you know, as far as like music is concerned. But I was still like, this makes sense for NewJeans, you know, like this song makes sense in their discography. Same with Bubblegum. I was like, this is like a normal like, this is like how like the course would continue going, you know, like this is yeah. I don't, let me rephrase that. I'm I'm not sure what it was, but I like when I first heard the news about like Min Heejin and everything, I was obviously like, oh, so she's exploiting these girls, like duh. And again, been a fan since debut, but even I can recognize like Min Heejin was taking advantage of these girls, and like to an extent, Hybe was too, and it's kind of shitty to, I mean, obviously now like Min Heejin has like her own company and everything, but like when all the legal stuff was breaking out, it was kind of weird that people were like, "Oh, well, it's Min Heejin, and like versus like Ador versus like Hybe," and I was like, I think these are all like one and the same, or like the Venn diagram is like getting really close to being a circle here, you know. I think my first ever video actually is about like Hybe and Min Heejin and just like ranting about them. But I just remember not liking like Min Heejin's vibes. Like I was just like, I don't like them. Now that doesn't mean that I think that her work with marketing NewJeans and like her work as creative director for NewJeans was like bad. Obviously I'm still a fan of NewJeans, and I greatly enjoy the music that they put out and like the artistic work that they put out. And I also recognize that Min Heejin is a shady motherfucker and is probably not to be trusted around minors. Like that's, yeah, no, let's not do that. Um and that NewJeans, although they went about the legal proceedings initially in a very wrong way, I think they also were misled. And that does not excuse their behavior, but it is a potential explanation. And I think that it's also, I think, kinder to just like not tear down like these young artists that probably did not know the full capacity of what they were doing. And like, even if they did, I like that's, yeah, then that's like shitty. But we don't need to keep on like dogpiling and being like really rude about like NewJeans' like future choices and everything. Like they're, I don't know, they're like living their own like lives now and everything, and it's just, it's whatever. So this whole legal dispute's going on, and then Supernatural and Right Now come out, and I'm just like, this is like the perfect Japanese debut. Unfortunately, Hyun couldn't like dance in the music video, which kills me now because that's literally the last OT5 music video. But like, I just remember listening to those songs, and I like even remember listening to Supernatural, and I was like, this feels like an ending. Like this feels like the end of a cycle. I don't know why, but it just felt final. And I should have known, because like we get radio silence for a year after that, and then Danielle, my bias, is literally announced to leave the group. And she's also getting sued, which is just like insult on top of insult on top of injury, I feel like. And it's, I've never had my bias like leave a group before, and I don't want to be like whatever. I never saw NewJeans live, and I never like went to a concert or like a fan meet of theirs. I don't know Danielle personally, obviously. But it just really affected me a lot. I remember seeing the announcement and just being like kind of numb. And then when I saw that she had opened up her own Instagram account and like posted a letter talking about how she did everything that she could to stay with NewJeans, that genuinely, like, the floodgates just like completely opened after that. And it's just so disheartening to see somebody that you like admire a lot, somebody that you in a way like look up to as far as like mindset and like their outlook on life, and to see them just kind of like be, I don't know, like taken advantage of, to be ripped away from like a passion project of theirs. It's a really sad ending to what was a beautiful era in K-pop. Like, I will always miss OT5 New Jeans. And I think while I am supporting whatever New Jeans do in the future, whether it's OT3, OT4, whatever, I think that without Danielle, it's always going to be it's going to be different, and yeah, it's going to be difficult. But I'm choosing to support both Danielle and the rest of the girls, like in whatever they want to do musically. Um, it's just weird, and like, I for the fans of New Jeans who are able to acknowledge when people are being wrong and are acting shittily, um and also still have empathy and feelings for artists and everything. I just wanted to make this like video to kind of like commiserate with you because I'm also like, I've just been sad and like haven't really had anywhere to like talk about it. But also I wanted to make this video because like I really want to just honor that New Jeans have genuinely changed the K-pop landscape. Like, there is no way that K-pop was going to be the same after New Jeans, and you can't take away their impact from the industry. Like, you just can't. Their run in not only K-pop but pop music was generational. Like, you will not see very many K-pop groups have the trajectory that they do. And I think that their music really is timeless. Like, it's going to stand the test of time. And yeah, I'm sad about it, but I'm also, oh, there's my cat. I'm hesitantly optimistic for whatever they choose to do next. So